Hi, I'm Coach Molly. I'm a personal trainer and nutrition coach, and today I'm going to give you a synopsis of my life as it pertains to how I ended up where I am in my career and everything like that. Um, and I will also be creating subsequent videos that will dive into each part of my life, but just kind of wanted to give a little overview as to who I am and a little bit of my background and kind of why I'm here and why I'm doing what I do. So, I can kind of point everything back to swimming. I started swimming when I was 6 years old. My mom put me in because I had asthma, and I just went with it. I started swimming competitively when I was 8. I swam year round until I was 13. Had an injury, took a year off, and then in high school I swam as well. And also in high school, it was the cool thing to go to the gym with your friends or I went to the gym with my mom. And I would like use the weightlifting machines that had pictures on them, or I had seen something on, maybe Pinterest or something that I like wanted to try. So I would get up at 5:30 in the morning and I would go to the gym with my mom and just kind of do my own little workouts in the off season of swimming. So I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't have a training plan, but I just kind of liked the idea of getting up and going. My mom is an avid fitness person as much as I am, if not more. I like to say, did CrossFit before it was cool. She's done yoga for several years. She's done weightlifting. She's kind of like done everything. So she's been a real inspiration for me as I've continued throughout my fitness journey and career. Um, so high school I was just kind of like messed around, but mostly just focused on swimming. So when I got to college, the rec was the cool place to hang out, and it was also the place that I knew that I wanted to work. So my friends and I would go to the gym and we'd spend an hour on the elliptical or whatever. I just like to say that a lot of my freshman year was spent on the elliptical, which is totally great. The elliptical is a great piece of equipment, great cardio, but it was just whatever was cool at the time. In 2013, we wanted to be, skinny and in shape and all that kind of stuff. So the elliptical was where it was at. So as I kind of progressed through that, I started to see things about bodybuilding and bikini competitions and stuff like that. And I happened to know someone who competed in bikini competitions. So I asked her for her training program. She was like, sure, sent it to me, and helped guide me from afar. And at that point, sophomore year, I had started working at the rec center. So the way I did it is if it was an exercise I didn't know how to do, I'd either look it up or I'd ask one of my coworkers. And so I just kind of like figured it out. But what I knew was that I really liked it and I was really having fun lifting. So throughout college, I was super into lifting, heavy lifting, breaking PRs with my friends, gathering with my coworkers, and we'd try to all hit our maxes on bench and deadlift and squat and everything like that. And so that was a lot of fun. It created a really fun environment in college, and was was a new way of challenging my body that I'd never seen before. And during this time, I did not touch a pool. I just wanted nothing to do with it at the time, which I think was in the long run a good little break. So I, unfortunately, like I wasn't doing everything right in college. I suffered from a lot of injuries. I would like lift, hit my max, and then I'd get hurt and I'd have to like take some time off and start over. But looking back, what I didn't know then was I was doing these diets, cool, bodybuilding diets, or, the latest like craze of like no junk food or whatever, and honestly ended up depriving myself a lot of what I needed, and it led to injuries and chronic pain and all that kind of stuff. So some of it was inevitable, some of it I have scoliosis, I have some other things going on, and it was just kind of what was going to happen. But had I known some things, I probably could have better equipped myself. But regardless of the injuries, I was having a blast with lifting and really, really getting into the habit of going to the gym and lifting and beating, my own records and doing fun stuff kind of without having that competitive swimming environment that I hadn't been used to my whole life, but I was really enjoying it. So after college, I moved out to Colorado, kind of continued on that path of like waking up, going to the gym every day before work. Ended up, continuing that for a really long time. And I think this is the perfect segue into kind of giving you guys a little bit of my career background, as to kind of be able to explain how I ended up as a personal trainer. So I went to school for journalism. I got a major in public relations from the journalism school. I have a minor in kinesiology and a minor in Spanish. That minor in kinesiology came from me going, I want to change my major to kinesiology, and someone saying, I don't know, like, you're almost done with school, like maybe you should stick the path out and get a minor in kinesiology, public health, and then like see where it goes. So reluctantly it paid off. I'm glad I got that minor in kinesiology, but at the time I was pursuing journalism. For a really long time I had wanted to write for a print newspaper and a print newspaper only. I didn't want to write online, which seems so ridiculous now, but I just really didn't. I wanted to write print, and that's what I wanted to do when I got to college. And I got there in 2013, and by the end of freshman year, 2014, I was like, writing for a print newspaper like may not be like my lifetime career. Like all these newspapers are going online, like all this stuff is happening. So somehow, even though I didn't want to write online, I ended up switching to a path for social media marketing. So back to that after college time. So after college, I got an internship at a really great marketing agency out here in Boulder, Colorado. And moving out here, I was working in marketing. I was working in a fun field. Lots of very active people out here in Colorado. So I was working in a fun job, going on the path that I wanted to be on, and just being surrounded by people who were active in ways I had never seen before, because, with the mountains and biking and triathlon's big out here and all those things, it's a little bit more of a quiet scene in other places. Like I grew up in Kansas City, so it's not that people aren't doing those things, it's just not as obvious because like 6 months of the year it's cold outside and you don't see a lot of people doing things. But here the weather's a little bit more ever changing, so people are able to be active throughout the year more. So I then, after my internship was over, after about 4 months, I got a job at a startup marketing agency here in Denver. It was so much fun. I worked with a group of young people in the startup, and we were doing things together and we were active together. Tried out some new things with them, like climbing and skating and stuff like that I like previously would have never done before. And meanwhile, I was also working at a gym. So I moved out here. I mentioned I was going to the gym every day. When I moved to Denver, I was going to the same gym every day at the same time. It really helped me build a sense of community. Even if I didn't talk to the people every day, just like seeing familiar faces I had moved out here not really knowing too many people. So it was just a nice way to get to know people and get to feel like a sense of home. And I ended up getting a part-time job there on top of my marketing job, just at the front desk. And so that was even better because I got to meet people. I really got to know people. And that in turn led to me having the opportunity to have my own personal trainer. So that experience really set me on a path to a lot of great things. I finally learned how to better prevent injury and how to warm up properly and how to cool down properly and how to make sure I had proper form and all this stuff that I had heard of in passing and had been corrected on a couple times, but not in a sense of like someone educating and helping me through this. So that was a really, really great experience and kind of got me set on this path of like, I've always loved fitness. I've always wanted to work one-on-one with people. Is social media really where I want to be? So I ended up working at that agency for about a year. I think I had quit the gym I was working at the time. And the summer that I quit the marketing agency, I believe was summer of 2018, I quit my job and I ended up getting an internship as a personal trainer and a job at an advertising agency. So I was working part-time at both. And I was an intern at a franchise gym here in Denver, and just got to go all hands on deck, and soon enough was a certified personal trainer. So I got to work, I think, about 9 or 10 months with so many clients. It was a gym where I didn't have to look for clients, they were given to me. So I got to work with a variety of people. I got to learn on my feet really quick. Got to be creative and do things I wanted to do, and it was really, really fun. And then I ended up needing to get another job. So I got a job again as a part-time front desk person at the gym that I had worked at previously. And without planning it, that turned into me becoming a personal trainer at that gym. So I transitioned from the franchise gym to the big box gym, and had a really, really great experience there. I had learned so much from the trainers at the big box gym that had been and have been there for years and years. I had a lot of support. I had people I knew, people I was familiar with, because I had been going to that gym for several years at that point. And it was just awesome. I was the top new trainer in Denver the summer of 2019. And I was working my butt off, and I was having a ton of clients, and I was having so much fun. But unfortunately, it wasn't quite paying the bills in the way that I needed it to, because of the fluctuation that you do see in a career as a personal trainer, especially in the beginning of your career. So I ended up having to get a job at a marketing job at a real estate company, and go part-time in the training. So I was at a real estate agency. I was personal training, and I also at that point got my very first job as a swim coach at CU Denver. And fast forward, and I ended up having to quit personal training at the gym. I wasn't quite working enough hours for what they required. And unfortunately, I just needed the steady income more. But then about a month later, we were in lockdown. And I had skepticism about going back to marketing. So in that real estate job, I was having a great time. I worked with a lot of great people, but I wasn't really feeling like I was doing what I wanted to do, because I had to go from personal training back to marketing, and felt as though it was a step backwards. And lockdown, summer happened. I didn't feel like it was smart to leave, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I was exhausted, as we all were. So like many people in 2020, I quit my job and I started my own business as a trainer. So within the time that I've lived in Colorado, I've had several jobs. I've dipped my toes into several different careers, and I've dipped my toes into several different athletic activities. I now climb regularly. I am a triathlete. I've done 3 triathlons. I still lift. I primarily do that in the winters. And yeah, just a little bit of, I've gotten into yoga recently too, so just a little bit of everything. And as you've heard me mention a couple times, injuries. I'm very injury prone, have a lot going on. I have scoliosis. I've been in several car accidents, so I have whiplash. I've had little things here and there, and I'm currently nursing an AC joint sprain. I fell climbing a couple of months ago, and it's just taking a while to heal. So that's part of the reason I was like, what can I do with my time, since I'm not spending as much time working out, that would be valuable for me and maybe you, and maybe, my business as well. So, yeah, and now I've been working my business for a year and a half, and it's, it's hard. It's a roller coaster, but it's going well. And physically, other than the AC joint sprain, I'm feeling stronger than ever. I've gotten PT, I've gotten chiropractic, I've had a personal trainers. I've just kind of finally gotten on the path where I feel good. I feel good a lot of the time. So, yeah, so I have a lot of things that I've been through. I am a personal trainer, I'm an athlete, but I'm also just a girl in her late 20s with anxiety and trying to navigate this thing that we call life and do my best. So there's a little bit of a synopsis of my life, and I'll dive into each part and kind of just talk more. And if you have questions or are curious about a certain thing that I mentioned in this video, let me know. I have a lot of ideas of things that I want to share, but I'm happy to dive into things that you find appealing as well. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends. Appreciate it.